With the CPL season now complete, what are some things that we could take away from it? Well, here are 5 things that we learned from the 2020 CPL season, so stay tuned. Hey, it's Curtis here. You're watching my channel, A.F.C. Curtis. You're home for all things Canadian Premier League content right here on YouTube. So if you're new here, maybe consider hitting that red subscribe button. Now, the first thing here that we learned, I think, this season really was that there is really no gap between all the teams anymore in the CPL. Last season, there was clearly 2 better teams and 5 other teams, I almost said 6, 5 other teams there that were trying to catch up to them that just didn't have enough talent to do it, enough quality to do it in this league. This season, you can't say that anymore. There is 7 teams that were fighting for the final 4 spots to qualify for the second stage there, the group stage, coming into that 7th and final match day of that first leg of this season, of this tournament there. That's incredible. You know, 7 out of the 8 teams still in it until really the last day of like the regular season. So, I mean, that's incredible. It showed how tight it was this season. Even last place FC Edmonton, I think if they had a preseason, and a longer season, they would be competitive and they would be in there competing. I really believe that there is 8 very good teams this season, and all of them really had a shot to win, regardless whether it was a 28-game season or the small shortened season. Obviously, we at the end of the day we only got 1 winner and 7 losers, but this season definitely proved that there is no huge gap anymore, and that the competitiveness is there that we always wanted to see, and that anyone could win almost on any given day. That's just kind of what the CPL is turning into nowadays. Now, point number 2 that we learned this season was that you can rebuild in a year. We just witnessed an incredible season here with the HFX Wanderers, a team that finished last place last year. They get the wooden spoon handed to them as the winners last season, the first ever wooden spoon winners, and in a whole 12 months, not even 11 months, 10 months later, they're all of a sudden back again for the 2020 season, and Stephen Hart has them looking like contenders this year. I mean, he really did a number this past offseason rebuilding this team in the right spots, in the right areas. Their attack looked deadly this season. I mean, this is a team that I thought would be competitive. I didn't know they'd be contenders like they were this year. I mean, they were. They got lucky, sure, in some parts. They're healthy, but everybody gets lucky here and there. And this team definitely had the talent, had the quality to contend, rightfully so, for the title. And because of that, they finished 2nd in the league and was 1 win away from winning the championship. That's pretty good. Now, point number 3 here for me is that, I'm not breaking anything new here, but there seems to be a little bit of a divide between the players and the league. And this is something that we got to clear up, because, I mean, they both need each other. We as Canadians, we need a league, and our Canadian talent needs a league, a Division 1 league here at home to develop. But the league also needs its players, because without their players, what are they going to show to fans, and what are fans going to invest in, right? So, I mean, this is really, they need to work together here, and the players need to work together with the league, and the league has to be willing to work together with the players and the players union to hopefully get some sort of CBA signed in the coming year or 2 to get a good, an increase in the salary cap every year, so these players can get paid a little bit more, to more closer to their value. We've heard rumblings and stuff in the past about the salary cap. I'm not going to report anything that, because again, none of it I know for sure is cemented in stone that this is the salary cap. And again, I'm not breaking anything new. These are old things that players have mentioned in the past, where they've complained about salary cuts. They've also complained in the past about maybe not getting signed by players or by teams. And at the end of the day as well, when we're waiting for the league to make any announcements, we're hearing players on social media come out and say, listen, when's the season going to start? We haven't heard anything. And they were just in the dark as much as the fans were in the dark. So there needs to be, a collaboration between the league and its players if we're going to have a good, healthy league for the long term. I mean, that's just my opinion at least, but that's something that I think the league has to work on and the players have to work on together. Our next point here is that we don't have a top 4. A lot of people were saying in preseason, oh, we got a top 4 in the CPL. It's only there's only 4 real contenders, and that's Pacific FC, York 9 FC, Cavalry FC, and Forge FC. But I'm here to tell you that that does not exist. Okay, get that out of your mind. We don't have a top 4. This is in England in the 90s and early 2000s. This is here. This is 2020. This is in Canada in a second year of a new league, okay? So you can't judge off of year one. You can't even really judge off of this year because it was a tournament and the whole pandemic thing. But there is not any top 4 here. Now there's one really good team and everybody else that are really good too, which is not as great as this one team that consistently has won, and that's Forge FC. The other teams are still very good and maybe or can be contenders on any given day, as you know, HFX has proven. I mean, they kind of debunked the theory that there is a top 4 by climbing into the top 4 and actually making it to that next round and even to the finals. So I mean, the league's too competitive. We do not have a top 4. Okay, let's stop saying that we have a top 4. We do not have a top 4. Anybody can win on any given day, but at the end of the day, it's just Forge is going to win the championship. Can we all just face the facts? Now, speaking of Forge, that brings us to our last point of the video, and that is we might actually have a dynasty on our hands here. You look at Forge FC, and they've won back-to-back championships in only the 2 seasons we've ever had in the league, and they've been champions both years. They've looked like champions both years. They look like they have that killer instinct that you need to become a champion, to be successful in sports competitions and just anything competitive in life, really. Now, you've seen Cavalry in the past. You know, they look like they could have it at times, but then all of a sudden it goes missing at the very end, unfortunately. And you know, you can say the same thing about Pacific FC this year, or even the HFX Wanderers this year. But at the end of the day, I mean, Forge FC, they're now 2/3 of the way from completing the whole quota you need to become a dynasty, which is you need to win 3 championships in a row. That's just the common knowledge of becoming a dynasty in any sport. So Forge FC, you're one more win away from getting there to becoming the first ever dynasty in CPL history. Can they do it? Only time will tell. Alright guys, that was my video this week. Let me know if there's any things I missed about this past 2020 season down in the comment section below. Other than that guys, if you like this video, definitely hit that thumbs up, that like button. Shows me like content just like this. And if you want to see more content just like this about the CPL, definitely hit that red subscribe button down below there, as well as the bell notification button, so you get notified each and every week I drop a brand new episode just like this. You can also watch my content guys over at northernstarting11.com. We'll have a website for them down in the description, or the link for them I should say, down in the description below. Click that link now because there's tons of great soccer podcasts, vidcasts, everything covering the CPL and Canadian men's and women's teams. So definitely check it out down below. Until next time guys, we'll see you later.